Welcome in, everybody, to a Tee to Green Extra. Brian Koziol, Kevin Sylvester, PGA Pro Jeff Mietus. Welcome back here. Yes, our official Tee to Green season is over in terms of our radio show, but golf continues. The golf season here in Western New York continues, and with it being a crazy year, 2020, the COVID calendar has pushed one of our golf's majors to this week here in September. It's the U.S. Open, so we're here to preview it and hopefully give you some good expertise and something to look for here as you get ready to watch this weekend with rounds Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Before we bring in Kevin and Jeff, we'll talk about it a little at the end, but if you're watching this, we appreciate it. You obviously may be a fan of the show. We're going to be doing a special show coming up Saturday on WGR from 10 to 11 a.m., a full hour of what has gone on so far with the first two rounds, and, of course, a look ahead to the weekend. All right, Kevin and Jeff, hello. Ready to go here with a little U.S. Open talk.
U.S. Open week, always fun, always exciting, even if it's in September. It's kind of cool. We'll see some different stuff out there on the golf course. It'll be fun to watch.
I'm just going to have to, I might call my dad and wish him happy Father's Day on Sunday, just out of habit. Because that's usually the fun around of the U.S. Open. But, yeah, I can't wait. Can't wait for it to happen.
That's right. We get
tough with Bills football, though. What do? You know? You watch Tiger try to win the Open in the finals against Dustin Johnson, or you watch the Bills?
It is Bills game's at 1, right? So it'll be done, and then you can catch the back 9 on the U.S. Open. Yeah. Or just dual screen it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Or let's just hope the Bills do what they did last week, and they're up by like 21 at halftime, and you can start focusing your attention over to the golf a little bit more. All right, well, you mentioned Tiger, Jeff. Let's start talking about some of the headlines. It's at Wingfoot Golf Club in Mamaroneck, New York. And this U.S. Open, the U.S. Open has been there many times. Only once has the winner actually been under par. It has played as one of the hardest U.S. Open courses that there is. Tiger Woods this week, Jeff, said you got courses like Carnoustie and Oakmont and Wingfoot. He goes, you don't have to do anything to it. You just show up, and he says it's hard as hell. So they're in for a tough test this week.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. It might be good to see the U.S. Open back to that really tough test of golf. You know, different types of grass this time of year. I've seen photos of guys throwing golf balls into the rough and pulling out single pieces of grass that are 1 foot long. So it looks like the rough might be really brutal this week. That'd be fun to watch. You know, watch these guys, where par is a valuable score, which it is at the U.S. Open. And the greens look like they're firm and fast. So it should be your typical, I think, the U.S. Open we've come to expect from the USGA this week.
Yeah, it's interesting, about that. There was, the movement towards the link style courses. We think Chambers Bay, Erin Hills, and of course at Erin Hills where the scoring was just through the charts. Wasn't what we typically saw at a U.S. Open. You had what you had at Shinnecock, which I thought played decent, but again, they've been criticized about losing the greens. No issue with that with the cool temperatures in the fall evenings. You're not going to lose the greens this week at Wingfoot, but that rough, I mean, it is, as Brian, as our friend Jeff Mietus would say, this is good grass growing weather when it gets cool at night. And we're getting cool at night. And, heck, even today, just I noticed in a few days of growth at Lancaster Country Club how thick and juicy the rough is getting there. And I've seen the videos. Like there was one media member took a Arnold Palmer, the beverage can, the Palmer can.
Stuck in.
Yeah. That's just incredible.
So if you put your beer down, you might lose it if it's just a regular 12-ounce or out.
Yeah, well, Michelob Ultra, one of our sponsors, we take those long, thin cans. Yeah, we'd lose all that in the rough. I like it. This is why I like it. I think the premium on finding the fairway in accuracy, and that's the test of golf here that the U.S. Open, along with Wingfoot and the Tillinghast design, the challenges that it has with elevated greens, the bunkering with the finger peninsulas, if you will, around that. There's just such a great look for it here, and I like it. I think even par, par should be a good score, and we're going to see that this week. I think it's going to be a great score if someone finishes around even par. Yeah,
look, it's good to see the old courses still holding up to the young bucks and the ball being bashed really far for a U.S. Open venue.
Yeah, Gary Woodland said just today, he said that a 4-iron from the fairway is probably going to be a better play than a 7-iron from the rough this week, which normally not the case. So we'll see if guys take less than driver off the tee often to find the fairway instead of just blasting it and having to find the ball and play out of the rough.
Right. Our Tee to Green Extra here previewing the U.S. Open. Our presenting sponsors, the Western New York PGA, woods to wedges inside the Whirly Golf Dome, Michelob Ultra, you see it there on Kevin's cap, Custom Turf, Jim Beam, and our home clubs, Tantera, Briarwood, and Lancaster Country Club. Well, before we start to talk about some of the players that might be raising the trophy come Sunday night, let's just talk about maybe the most memorable piece of Winged Foot for most people would be the most recent tournament. That was back in 2006. The U.S. Open was held there, and it's most known for not who won, but who lost. 2 major names came in with a chance to win. All they had to do was par the 18th hole, including Phil Mickelson. His memorable tee shot, his decision with 3-wood and driver with Bones on the 18th tee. He hit driver. It went off the hospitality tent. More mess from there ensued, Kevin, and he ended up taking a double bogey. The other big name, Colin Montgomery, then came to the 18th with a chance. He ended up having a good drive. His approach shot came up way short in the bunker. He bogeyed, and then Jeff Ogilvy snuck in and won. But for Mickelson, his quotes afterwards, he called himself an idiot. I mean, he has had so many chances, 6 runner-ups at the U.S. Open, but if there's one that maybe is the most painful, this might be the one.
Absolutely. It was there for him in the grasp, and, you know, he's a live by the sword, die by the sword guy, and he decided to die by the sword. It was such a bad tee ball. I mean, we've all hit that tee ball, but we're not competing for U.S. Open where you just block it like crazy and slice the heck out of it. I mean, I think a block's being generous. All right, he sliced it big time with it. Montgomery, you know, see, Phil's got majors. Colin Montgomery doesn't. He's won the Order of Merit so many times in Europe. Great golfer, but to not have a major championship. And I still remember the look on his face when the ball came up short. It seemed unfathomable to him that he'd leave that short in the bunker on 18. And, you know, 2 guys. So Jeff Ogilvy is the one, right? That's Ogilvy's U.S. Open. Mm-hmm. And no one remembers that. I guess always try. Who won that U.S. Open? You know, Jeff Ogilvy was the benefactor of that. And, hey, that happens in golf. That's how it works out. And, you know, I'm glad Phil got in this week. It would be an amazing story. But we just talked about the rough and the fairway. His driver's not that accurate, although he might hit driver out of the rough like he did last week at the Safeway Open. I don't know if you guys saw that. He took a driver out of the rough to punch it up to be short of the bunkers. It was amazing to see it done.
Yeah, don't try that at home. That's in that category. Yeah, don't try that at home. Driver from the rough. You know, I never questioned his decision to hit driver on 18 at the U.S. Open. It was just the execution. He'd been driving it well, and that, you know, he wanted to play aggressive. I understand, but he didn't execute it. And it's weird with the U.S. Open. You know, Jeff Ogilvy wins, Chad Campbell wins. You always get a little bit of a different person to win the U.S. Not always, but frequently. Where the Masters, I feel like that list is a little shorter. Where in the U.S. Open, it's really an open event. Anybody who has a hot week and gets going pretty well has a good chance. It doesn't seem like it's always dominated by the best players because of the difficulty. But I think this year might be a little different. I think the top players have been playing so well, and they're separating themselves from the field a little bit. I think one of them is definitely going to be one of the top 5-10 players in the world is going to be the winner this week. I don't think we're going to see the guy, you know, the 89th ranked player in the world, or the, you know, one of those guys come through and win this week. I think it'll be one of the veteran players who's played well this year and has come back and had a good last few weeks.
Michael Campbell, who you're thinking? I just want to correct him before someone.
Yes, Michael
Campbell.
What'd I say? Chad Campbell. Sorry. Yeah,
Chad.
Michael Campbell.
Chad had a chance for the PGA at Oak Hill.
Yes, I was there for that, and I mixed up his name. I apologize.
Oh,
yeah, there's been interesting names that have won the U.S. Open. every major we could go through and say, hey, that name maybe shouldn't have, or that maybe shouldn't have. But I think you're right, Jeff. In general, at least in the last 20 years, the Masters has seen more bigger names win. Now, that partially could be that the field is much smaller too, and they're only inviting, more less invitees. You said it. There's more guys that qualify. We'll have a little bit of less this year in the sense that there wasn't as many open qualifiers because of COVID, but we all know
might make for a stronger field. Like the PGA, instead of the qualifiers, you have top players in the world, the top 150.
Well, let me just argue the Masters thing here for a second. You do have some outliers here. There, Danny Willett, Trevor Immelman. You had the
Larry
Walrus, right? Yeah, Larry Mize. I mean, you had guys who have won that event, and that's the only major they have won. And I'm not trying to diminish.
I think you can throw Mike Weir in that discussion if you want to.
Right, Mike Weir, absolutely.
Yeah. In
that discussion. So, and then you have guys like Angel Cabrera who won the right. Cabrera's won the U.S. Open, right? Oakmont.
And two Masters. Oh no, he won one and then lost in one in a playoff. That's right.
Yeah, he lost to Adam Scott, right?
That's
when
right.
Adam Scott won there. So, but that being said, yeah, I agree, Jeff. I think what we've had, the top players have been playing so well down the stretch here, and they're catching it right when they've come off some great play with the playoffs on the PGA Tour. And to me, this looks to be a continuation of that almost, in my opinion.
Yeah. All right, let's finish with some of the names that we think are going to compete. Let's start with Dustin Johnson. Of course, wins the Tour Championship, wins the $15 million prize at the end of it. Kevin, his numbers this year were incredible. Not only, of course, did he win the Tour Championship, but he had won another playoff event, two others during the year. This guy is putting as good as he ever has in his career. We've talked about in our shows about that with his brother and his putter. Just everything is in line right now. Whether or not he ultimately wins or not, he has to be in the discussion of guys that you would think would win.
Listen, he's the odds-on favorite for a reason. He's the best player in the world right now, and he says he's playing his best golf. His coach says he's playing his best golf. So, yeah, I think if you asked everybody at your club right now, they'd all say Dustin Johnson. And the second guy they'd probably say is Jon Rahm. They're 1-2 in the world. These guys have battled down the stretch here. They've got the strength to play out of the rough. It's going to be Dustin. We'll see if he maintains the motivation. He was clearly a motivated player to win that FedEx Cup. And he gained a lot of confidence from the PGA Championship, and, where he fell victim to an unbelievable run by Colin Morikawa, who ended up, winning the PGA Championship. So, if you're asking me, I take Dustin Johnson, and I'll give you a dark horse pick. Can I do that for you?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Paul Casey.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm taking Paul Casey is because of his driving accuracy and total driving. He's done very well there, and I think it's just going to be a huge factor this week.
Jeff, before we get your pick, how about just a thought on how you think Tiger fares this week? Unless that is your pick, by the way.
No. It would be Brooks, but he's not playing. He's got a bum hip. But he may have to have surgery, I've heard. But I think Tiger's, I think he might struggle to make the cut. I haven't seen much from Tiger this summer. He's played okay at times, but this is the U.S. Open. You got to be firing on all cylinders. I don't know that he is. We'd all love to see it. But, my expectations for Tiger are pretty low at this point until I see a little spark from him. Who knows? So he has a tendency to rise for the majors, and he's done it 100 million times. I've written him off 100 times, and he's always surprised me. But right now, my expectations are pretty low.
Who do you like this week? I know, obviously, we mentioned DJ and Rahm. Is there somebody else beyond that group?
Yeah, kind of like Justin Thomas. I kind of liked him going in. He's been a little bit up and down. He's had some good golf. I think he would love. Everybody would love to win this event. That's just generic to say. I just feel I have a hunch this week that I just feel that Justin Thomas this course sets up pretty good for him. I think he's been playing well. He's been snip chipping around the edges there a bit too. So I think this is the week he kind of gets everything together and has a really good week.
Some other guys that have been playing well. I mean, we mentioned Morikawa already. He's got a PGA. I mean, to win 2 majors in a year would be incredible for him. Just the odds of doing that we always see are so low. I mean, I don't know if that's a reason to pick against him or not, but he'll actually be with Thomas and Tiger on Thursday, Friday. So that's a really nice grouping that they have them together. Some other guys, Xander Schauffele has played pretty well. And a weird stat on Schauffele, I know he hasn't played in these for, decades, but he's never finished outside the top 6 at the U.S. Open. So that could be a guy to really keep an eye on this week. Other guys that have played well this year with stretches, like Tony Finau had a hot month. I don't know if he can drive it straight enough that I would like his chances this week. Daniel Berger's had a really solid season overall. Like if this ends up being his time to win his first major, it wouldn't be a surprise at all. So out of those guys that maybe haven't won their first one yet, if I'm going to pick another name, I think Schauffele would be the guy that I would go with. I just feel like he's got so many tools. He handles pressure very well. I could see maybe him getting it done this week with his track record on tough courses, including his U.S. Open track record.
I feel like you could pick 10 guys, right? There's 10 players that would catch your interest on a betting line right now, I think, in this event.
Well, and if you're into doing that, certainly Schauffele is a guy, you don't have to always bet the win. You can bet top 5, top 10. I would certainly consider top 10. I'll tell you another guy I would do top 20, Corey Connors, out of the Canadian. You look, again, just based on driving numbers, driving accuracy and total driving, Corey Connors would be a guy I'd look at.
And I wanted to watch Scotty Scheffler play this week. I was actually kind of looking forward to that. But that he popped positive for COVID, I guess, so he had to head home and withdraw from the event. That's disappointing after the great year he had.
Yeah, rookie of the year on the PGA Tour, won the Arnold Palmer Award there. So, and Dustin Jack Nicklaus Award.
Yeah, we should name DJ got Player of the Year, Scheffler Rookie of the Year. There was thought about Justin Thomas for Player of the Year. I think DJ was the right pick, and also Victor Hovland, very much in the discussion for Rookie of the Year. I think Scheffler is a great pick, but Hovland for a while there in the summer, boy, what a fun story he was to follow.
You know who we have not mentioned is Rory McIlroy. And Rory, he had the child, and then you can understand why he was distracted there, and said he just felt like he was going through the motions. Obviously, he had something.
Shot 64. Yeah, he went through the motions. Right. Shot 64. Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? We haven't heard from him much at all. It would not shock me if Rory McIlroy was up there late on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, we know if he drives it straight, he can win. That's when he's on his game and he's got the strut going. It's when that ball is going straight. If he's all over the place with this rough, he'll be in trouble. Another reminder: you want to get in on our Tee to Green Majors contest. It's all my information is on Twitter. I've been tweeting it out each day at Brian WGR. You get a great prize pack. If you're finishing first from Batavia Downs Gaming and Hotel, which, by the way, is back open now, you get a hotel night, you get a restaurant gift card, you get money and free play at the casino. And second place, Kevin, we got a second place prize this week. Michelob Ultra is going to give away an awesome golf bag. So we got 2 great sets of prizes for you here on our Majors contest this week.
Yeah, it certainly is. So, yeah, make sure it's free to join. Why wouldn't you get in there? And then think about all the guys we've mentioned you could pick. We even talking about Webb Simpson. You're talking about a guy driving accuracy. Brendan Todd, another guy.
Adam Scott, I like this week too, is a dark horse. He plays well in majors.
Adam Scott is one. I was just saying Brendan Todd because, again, of driving accuracy. He doesn't hit the ball far, but he finds the fairway, and he's a heck of a putter. It wouldn't shock me if Brendan Todd won this thing. I swear. If you say I'm nuts. But just because of if the rough is going to play that way and be that big of a factor, Brendan Todd could be the guy too.
Yeah, so email us your picks on that. Again, all the information on my Twitter page at Brian WGR. And then don't forget, tune in Saturday after you watch the first 2 rounds. We'll have a special show on WGR 550 from 10 to 11 with myself, Kevin, and Jeff. Okay, gentlemen, enjoy the golf Thursday and Friday. And
hopefully Jeff can stay awake for it.
That's right.
This is late for me. Yeah.
That's right.
It's on the East Coast. I'm all set. West Coast, I might have a problem.
That's right. All right. Kevin Sylvester, Jeff Mietus, I'm Brian Koziol. We'll reconvene Saturday on WGR. Until then, enjoy the U.S. Open, everybody.